Tridisha Barua. I'm 25 years old and I'm from the city called Jorhat in Assam. As a child, I was not always counted amongst the good-looking ones for obvious reasons, because I liked my collar to be buttoned up and my skirt will be, actually teachers have to come to me and say, your skirt is way too long. You need to chop it up a little, So it was that long, and my socks will be high up and very innocent actually, and in other words, maybe too naive at that age. So if I think about my childhood, it is next to impossible for me to believe that right now I am a model and has been working as a model. So this entire modeling thing once came up, my mother is the first one to tell me. She was just watching the TV and all of a sudden she stumbled upon fashion TV. And then she looked at them and then she looks at me, and then she did that like a couple of times and she's like, that's where you fit. You exactly look like them. Tall and skinny. But I said, but I'm ugly, ma, they are not. But then she would say, no, you are not. By their age, you'll be fine. And that's how how that thing came into my mind. And how I thought, okay, I'm not completely useless. Maybe I can do something in life. So my mother is the first one actually who asked me to also take part in the first contest, which is quite funny. And I went there and she would dress me up, and she had made me look like a princess, and I went there and wore few outfits and I won that contest. That's another thing, that my organizers ran away without giving me the money, not a bouquet, not a tiara. But yeah, I was happy in my heart that, I am officially a model. Then comes the next pageant. Obviously, my mom is the one who, pushed me into that as well. No, she's like, you can do it. You can do it. You won this, so you can maybe win the next. You can win the next. Even if you don't, I'm your mom. Come back home. There's no problem, And so this winning pressure was never put in my head. There's no one who has ever asked me, okay, you need to do this, but you have to win. My mother would always tell me, do it for the pleasure of doing it, experience it, do not have to necessarily win it. So the second contest, I won that also, and I was very, very happy. Now comes my college, and I was in class 12th, which is one of the most crucial years, so I focused on my studies and did my exams, and the money I won from that contest is the money that brought me to Delhi. I had this thing that I wanted to be a lawyer because my mother wanted to be a lawyer. So I came to Delhi thinking, yes, I'll be a lawyer. And in my heart, I was thinking, okay, I won so many contests. Maybe I'll just go to Delhi and there'll be work in abundance, and there'll be work, and there'll be, I'll be flooding with work. I thought myself to be very, very, to be not less than a superstar at that age. I came to Delhi with that money. My principal also gave me the permission in class 12 to go for the contest, win and come, and that's all he said, win and come. So I came to, to be very precise, my winning amount was 1,20,000 rupees, out of which my organizer, she gave me 50,000. And then she told me 50,000 is when you'll take part in an international pageant. So that 50,000 is what I had to come to Delhi. My father straight up, because my mother wasn't well at that point and he had to take care of my mother financially. And so I came to Delhi with that 50,000. He told me, I am there for you, but not financially. If you stay in Assam and you continue with your studies, maybe I can help you with the money and stuff, but not in Delhi. I do not have that kind of money. Obviously, because we are from a middle class family and our priorities are not always, the priority will be obviously my mother's life than my, coming to Delhi. I took that money. I came to Delhi, got to know that my college admission fee was 40,000, 10,000 left, went to a PG, 6,000 was the rent, had 4,000 left in my hands, and that's about it. And that's when I, everything is getting real now. I know nobody knew me in this industry. And it was actually, if I look back in those days, I clearly remember I would actually multiply divide the money that I had into how many days can I survive and what can I do. And I had like 20 rupees a day, and I would have 2 Maggi packets in a day. So one is, and make it like too diluted, like put a lot of water into it so that it keeps me full for a longer time. So I would have a Maggi in my mornings and a Maggi just before I sleep, So yeah, so nobody knows me. And a friend of mine, all of a sudden, she told me my money is ending and my happy days are also going to end now very soon. So now the shit hits the fan, and I actually saw that I probably have to go back to my native. But somehow I'd never had the guts to go back, and I always thought, let me try, let me stay for some more days, let me stay. Maybe now I've come down to 1 packet a Maggi a day, so that I can stretch for a few more days, So my friend, who's apparently also a model, she told me, you know what, I got this offer, they want a sales girl, but I don't want to be a sales girl really. I do not want to do this job, and they are paying you 500 per day because it was this festive season during Diwali. I said, I'm going. Will they take me? And she's like, they should. You go try it out. And I came to Select City Mall for the first time in my life, seen such a big mall, got lost like thrice in the whole mall. And finally I entered the store and I asked them, started working with them, 500 per day, and I targeted to get the highest sales so that I get 500 extra. So yeah, so I did that for a couple of more months. Yeah, and that's about my first job that I ever got. Came to be a model, ended up being a sales girl, but hope is still bang on, and I still knew that this is not what I have come for. I wanted to do more than this, and I have not come this far only to reach this far, Not that I'm saying being a sales girl is, And during this phase of working as a sales girl, I've had a friend who actually gave me a number of the first contact ever in this industry. And I have actually called him and asked if I can do, his shows. And luckily at that point, he had a show coming up. And then he asked me, you should come to my place and you should talk to me. And, from there on, we can take things forward, because obviously who can give work over a telephone call without seeing me as a person? So I went there wearing a yellow frock, I remember. And I started talking to him about myself. And he was also from a small town, so the way I spoke to him is like I could just speak to him like a friend, and this is not at all looking like a business, So I started talking to him about how I came and what I did, and started crying. And that day I cried after so long. And I have realized when I look back from that day itself, how far I have come. And this was my first contact, and I'm not letting it go. So my first day at my work comes as a model. I was very, very happy, to be there, and it was for a very good designer. And it was not exactly a ramp show, but it was a very good show for me, and I did the show and very happy, and knew how to actually walk, and first time I could walk with professional models, and I was so happy to be part of it. Well, after that, one after the other, I kept getting jobs from him, and then I got jobs from some other choreographers as well. And at that point, I had to decide. Now, I'm not being able to take many days off, because I'm also working as a sales girl. So what I did is, I had to take a decision, and I said, okay, I'm letting this job go, and I'm going to be more focused as a model. Yeah, so I took the decision. Again, was ready to have 2 packets Maggi a day, and took the call, started to be only a model now. So now I could see the real industry. I saw many people. Still, I had a long way to go. But from that day to now, I have worked for 7 years of my life. Pretty much being taking care of my whole family. So for a lot of people, success may not be what success is to me. For me, coming this far itself is a big success, For a lot of models, maybe walking for Victoria's Secret may be successful. for me have been being able to take care of my family, buying him the first car, my father, and making my sister study is the biggest thing that I've achieved. I feel like a mother already. So I think if I have to sum up as what really being a model is, or what really modeling is, then I would say this is like a snake and a leather game. I have thought about it a lot. Now, the leather is like when you start working, you get a leather, you get someone who will help you and give you promises that, next time you're going to do this show, work with me. You need to take that leather and go up. And then there will be snakes at times, snakes not as persons, but there will be people who will try to demean you, who will make you less of what you are. Insults and comparisons and bullying is very much part of the industry. So these are the snakes. If you come down, you have to work your way up again. So again, you have to wait for the next leather to come in your life. You take that leather, go up. It's a never-ending journey, but it has been going quite good for me so far. #mystory.